UndergroundVideoNetwork.com presents the We Talk Too Much podcast.
This is where the fun begins.
Comic books, superheroes, sci-fi, gaming, and everything nerdy.
That's it. This is just too weird.
Now, here's your host of the We Talk Too Much podcast, Mike and Richard.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of Underground Video Network's We Talk Too Much. This is a special episode because this is the first episode we've been able to do together in like over a year. For those listening, I am Mike Boroff.
I'm Richard Catterjohn.
He's my buddy! Oh, you guys don't understand. We are, first of all, fully vaxxed. Yeah. We're good. Yeah, this is a great moment for both of us because this is, like I said, the first episode that we have gotten to be together to do this episode.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a little weird because I'm used to looking into the camera to see him, and I'm like, oh no, he's right there. But if there was any one thing that could have brought us together,
because conventions hadn't.
Really? Yeah.
Because we both went to this. We was going to go to conventions. They couldn't even bring us together.
Yeah.
But
unfortunately, I was able to go to Cincinnati. Rich wasn't able to go to Cincinnati.
I went to Gem City.
You went to Gem City. I wasn't able to go to the Gem City. So yeah, if there was one thing that could reunite us, this is going to be our very heavy, spoiler-full review of Ghostbusters Afterlife.
So time out if you haven't seen it.
Yes.
Go see it, definitely.
So hit the pause button. We honestly debated it because we want to get that content out. It's like, well, do we do a spoiler-free kind of review first? I'm like, Richard looked at me and he's like, do you really think you can keep your mouth shut? I'm like, no, I can't. So yes, we are going to be full on talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife and our favorite little cameo from the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the little Stay Puft guys. I gotta say, right out of the gate, first and foremost, just getting it out there, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I adored this movie so much. Rich?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was made for fans.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to put it. It was made for fans because it was made by a fan.
True.
I mean,
literally made from a fan that was made.
Yes. This whole movie was co-written but produced and directed by Jason Reitman.
Right.
Who is the son of Ivan Reitman.
Right.
Who was one of the driving forces, the director behind the original Ghostbusters. Jason even made a cameo in the second movie. Look it up, people. During the infamous birthday party at the beginning of Ghostbusters 2, he is the kid that calls the, my dad said you guys are full of crap.
Yeah.
That was him. So if there was any one person outside of Ivan Reitman that I would have trusted with this movie,
yeah,
it was a kid that grew up around. And that was a really nice thing too, is when during production and everything that I really liked, during production, so many behind the scenes photos of Jason being on set with his dad.
Right,
not even just during his moments, at the birthday party, but him being there on set.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a family affair, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie, it picks up. I mean, it takes what it needs,
Yes. And I was curious on... we knew going into the movie, that the family is the family of Egon Spengler.
Right.
But, the idea of, why was he out in the middle of nowhere? It's like, okay, we know from the previews that there's some spooky ghost stuff going on. Could possibly have to do with Gozer. But the way that they really went about the mechanics of the movie...
True.
...was very well written.
Well, even the trailers didn't give too much until like the last couple trailers with that Gozer's connection.
Yep.
So right there, that made it seem like it was fitted together.
Yeah. But, I mean, it was truly some brilliant writing. The idea that this entire town was founded, founded by evil Shandor. Strictly because that was where they found the minerals, the metal that they used.
Right, they used to build the tower.
Everything tied together, very well written too. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, we just happened to blah blah blah. No. The idea that there was this town that was founded by evil,
and it was on the site of where the original worshipping took place for Gozer. So it was Gozer's original passageway, I guess. So, they moved it to New York, but it was weird.
Well, it was like the temple itself was there, but But yeah, the idea of the mining corporation, the entire town.
I mean, because the school was named after him.
Yeah. Because there were so many really good harkening backs to the original movie. When like Phoebe says like, oh, it's selenium. It's like why would they mine this kind of metal? It's a conductive metal. Why would anybody want to use this in construction? It was like, we know why, because he was building a great big, antenna to the gods.
Because like when they slipped there, when they were telling this backstory of the mine, everything started piecing together. Because I know we said that during the movie. It's like, hey, that's what they used to build and that was even before they even told us what was going on. So in a way, it made total sense.
Yep. One thing, I wouldn't even call it controversy, but one thing that we noticed is it seems to us that they reference heavy to the first movie, but like 0 to none reference to the second movie.
Yeah.
It's almost like, which is ironic considering Jason was in that movie.
Right.
But even, you got a sense of that from the previews, because when we see Ecto-1, it's Ecto-1, not Ecto-1A that we saw in Ghostbusters 2 with the neon light, or the LED lights and everything, and the big dish on the back. This was very much the Ecto we saw in the first Ghostbusters.
Well, maybe they had to sell the second one off to make rent.
That is very possible. Hey, we literally, as you're watching or listening to this, we are less than an hour away from having seen the movie. We're still very... No, I didn't embarrass him by wearing the actual shirt to the movie. I wanted to, but I thought better of it. But let me just first say, the cast was amazing. I thought the young actress that played Phoebe... And did you notice too, Richard? It wasn't until the end of the movie where they say their last names. It's the mom that says the last name.
Oh, yeah. Because she never really said it during the whole movie.
During the entire movie, nobody ever says, I'm Phoebe, this is my brother. They never say the last name Spangler. Even when they're talking to the people in town. Right. My dad was he was the...
They own the
dirt
house.
farm.
Yeah.
The dirt farm, I'm Lucy, they never mention the name. And thinking back on it, I'm glad they didn't, because it just made that end... where she says, I'm Spangler. Yeah. Oh, when she's talking to Peter.
You're right.
Spoiler. Come on, man. The action figures they released a month ago ruined that for everybody. But
they were just on the talk shows the other night talking about it.
But we'll get there soon. But I thought Phoebe was fantastic. Finn Wolfhard as her brother was he was really good. Yeah. The entire cast was really good. Even the kid that played Podcast. I'm not going to lie. When I first saw the action figures, I'm like, oh God. Well, no. I take it back, man. I am a full Podcast believer. I thought he was great.
The ending with him was just...
Oh my God, when he comes out covered. They did. It really did seem like the beginning. The one complaint that I've heard is, like you said, it was for the fans, and it really, like the beginning 2/3 of the movie was in and of itself its own thing that had elements of the first movie.
Right.
But once they crossed that threshold, it was just like we are full on re-embracing the first movie.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
even to the scenes with the gatekeeper and the keymaster.
And I mean, even the immortal lines, "Are you a god?" You know.
Oh my God, yes! And I loved the pause because
Oh.
Ray's like, and both Peter and Winston are like, "Dude, seriously, we've gone through this. Yes, I'm a god. Yes, I'm a god. We're all gods."
But then, you know, the little part there, the only part they didn't really do was cross the stream. They alluded to it, but they didn't really say it.
They didn't say it.
Yeah, but they alluded to that one part.
Yeah.
So, because when she grabbed it and then...
That was phenomenal
Yeah.
when she literally uncrossed the streams.
Yeah.
And I liked how they went into it so nonchalantly too, like, oh, we already know we're not going to blow up. Let's do this. You know, they went right into it. But man, when she pulled them apart, I was like, that was gangster. That was really good.
And then Phoebe came in at there and, you know...
Oh. And the poor brother trying to, but it was like the little marshmallow guys were already tearing it apart. And let me ask you this, Richard. One thing I was thinking about was at the very beginning, I love the way it was shot. I love that you know that's Egon,
Right.
but we don't see Egon. I thought it was very respectful the way they did it. They alluded to, you could see that it
was clearly him.
It was clearly him.
And he was like aged because you could tell from the one shot with the back of his hair and
you could
stuff.
see the gray. Question for you. When he was sitting in the chair, which again was a great harkening back.
Yeah.
One of the gizmos that made a lot of talk was the PKE meter that was now also, they were calling it the shocker or something like that, where it came up and it could...
Yeah.
I'm wondering, because we don't see it, did he kill himself? Did he shock himself into having a heart attack? Because think about it, if he hadn't, whichever one it was, goes, or whatever ghost it was either the terror or the...
It was one of the Keymaster or something.
Or ghost didn't possess him.
No.
He died there of a heart attack, and he just got done showing a close-up of the PKE meter, which was like a taser is the word.
Yeah.
I in my mind, I think that's what happened. I don't think...
I don't know.
But anyways, it was a heroic sacrifice. He knew he was... in my eyes, that's what I think happened.
Yeah.
He was moments away from being possessed, but he knew that if he was...
Oh, that's true. Then yeah, because he would have been used as a keymaster or gatekeeper. Yep. So yeah, that's probably what. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Didn't even think of that. And that little spirit that must have flew out. I think that was him, right?
I think so too.
Yeah.
No. I think no. That was either the Keymaster or Gozer, because Egon stayed there.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which I loved. I love the way they shot that too. All the little moments with like the chessboard.
Right.
That was great, because as soon as, like, that very first moment where, you know, the chessboard got knocked over, and when you think about it, it's like, oh, is he an angry spirit? No, everything he did was very intelligent, you know.
Yeah.
He knocked the board over to get her attention.
True.
Notice the chessboard. She put the chess pieces up, she made the move, she came back later.
Right.
His piece was moved, you know.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised how later on they were actually... I thought they was going to be more off camera. You know, like she would leave.
Then yeah.
But when they showed the piece actually moving, floating, and then like when he chucked the piece, you're like, whoa, man. Like, anger issues. Like, no. Go.
Yeah,
Go.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because need to find his...
He was leading her.
Yeah.
Like,
And then as they were going through, the lights came on, so she just kept following the lights and stuff. Yeah, and it took her because he had this whole underground thing. Because
oh my God, there were so many moments when she uses the PKE meter after she found the trap to find his underground firehouse. What other way could you possibly get to something underground? You had to have the pole. You had to have the pole. And it just tickled me knowing that even probably at that time, let's say 65 years old. Let's say 65, ballpark. He was still sliding down that pole, man. He was still using that pole.
Maybe closer to 70s.
Probably. And there were so many nice little Easter eggs throughout that, the basement too. And I tried not to embarrass Richard, but there were so many times like, oh, he collects spores, molds, and fungus! Because there were spores, molds, and fungus. And then even a great little touch, that red, nondescript piece of scientific equipment that we saw in the first movie, before they'd even seen their first ghost. That was a piece of equipment that the guy listening to, I know the song, If You Can Wait Forever. But anyways, the guy of the roller skates listening to the headphones is like wheeling out as all their stuff is getting repossessed.
Yeah.
That was it!
Yeah.
And then when she found the uniforms,
Right.
and she pulled out the crunch bar.
Right.
Oh, come on. I mean, we knew the Twinkie cameo was coming.
Yeah.
We knew that one was a gimme. But for the crunch bar, I was like, well done, Jason.
But, it just... Yeah, a lot of people are wondering, was it too well put together for just the fans, Was someone that don't really understand a lot of this can go in and watch it on their own?
Right.
Like younger kids. Well, they actually... Because there was some younger kids watching the theater, and they just got up and left.
Yeah.
So, is it for a general audience? I'm not sure.
I think it's I think... You're right, it's something to think about. In my opinion, I think it was good for both, because it harkened back enough for people like us to have recognized everything, especially when she finds the YouTube clips,
Right.
which I thought was great. But also at the same time, it really was like a true passing the torch
Right.
for the next generation of not only viewers, but for Ghostbusters,
Yeah. It's a franchise. There's gonna be another one. Whatever they're gonna do,
Please, yeah.
Because they got funding. Because what's his name? He's got money.
Oh, Jason.
No, in the.
Oh, Winston. Yes,
yeah.
they came at the very end. Yes.
Yeah, because he bought the firehouse back.
Yeah.
And then brought the Ecto-1 in there to fix it.
I like Janine. She's like, are you still fronting the Rent for Ray's bookstore? It's like, one of these years it'll make a profit. Which was another thing that, speaking of Janine, that's raised some questions. I really did. When I saw the previews, I thought Janine was going to be the woman's mom.
Oh, yeah.
Because even if it was that her and Egon had separated, they had gotten divorced.
Well, she would have came back if he had passed or something.
Yes.
Yeah. But
it was never alluded... The fact that Janine had to introduce herself to the mom.
Right.
Okay, she's never met Janine before.
And she had never met her either.
Right. She never... Yeah.
So, something different's going on there. So, there's another backstory that we can get. Maybe. I don't know.
Because quite a few times in the movie, she had mentioned that her dad had left them.
Right.
Who was the mom?
To do science, Science 1, but not really.
Yeah.
Because we did find out later on that he had this whole shrine that he kept track of everything that she did.
Oh, that was a good moment. Yeah.
I know, kind of creepy for a dad, but...
Yeah, but I hate to say, it's not nothing that's... It wasn't uncharted territory. I've seen plenty of shows, even like Psych. It's like, oh, my dad abandoned me. It was William Shatner. Oh, my dad abandoned me, and he never cared. Like, yes, I cared. I saw this recital, and I saw this. I thought it was cool. Oh, not cool. It threw me off a little bit at first when Phoebe's talking to Ray. That one was really shook me. Was like Egon Spengler can burn in hell.
Right.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like whoa. I know more than 30 years has passed, and I can think,
But he went and stole all their equipment, technically.
Right.
And sort of explained, but no one believed him.
Right.
So.
And knowing what we know about Egon, it wasn't so out of character. Everyone else had moved on with their lives.
Right.
You know, they explained Peter was doing this.
Because there was no more ghosts. They did their job too well. And that's exactly how they explained it in the movie. You know, so that's why all the ghosts disappeared. But I don't know. How can you have ghosts disappear?
Yeah.
But that's another story.
Yeah. Well, that ties back to whether or not, and it's going to be a question mark for a while until somebody gives us an actual answer, whether or not Ghostbusters 2 exists in this universe.
Because Oscar wasn't in the movie.
No.
The little baby from the second one. So, stay past all the credits. There's scenes, and we're alluding to that because, you know, Sigourney Weaver's Dana.
That was really well done the way they did that, because everybody, the timing was good, because you're like, and also starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, and Sigourney Weaver, and at the same time me and him went, what? There it was. Right there. I was like, oh my God.
And it was reflection back to the first movie too, because they were using the psychic test.
So good. 3 wavy lines, and you know, it's like, oh, I used to just do it to the guys, you know. But going back, I adored Phoebe. I have no question in my mind that is the granddaughter of Egon Spengler.
She played the part well.
She played the part very well. And it was nice because you could definitely tell she was Egon's granddaughter, because she had his mannerism. I really liked it when she put his glasses on, and they were like a perfect match for his. But at the same time, this is an Egon Spengler that was raised in a functional household. She wasn't quite, you know, like, I like the jokes that she made, like, overstimulation causes me calm. You know, I get calm during her, you know.
And then about the atoms, you know.
Oh my God, her jokes. Yes. Yeah, she wasn't a carbon copy of Egon Spengler.
But you could tell that.
Yes.
Yeah. Because she was smart. Way smart. The character.
Yes. Yeah. God, fucking Paul Rudd for showing Cujo to the... That was the one thing I missed, though. It was the summer school. Why was she in summer school?
Yeah, they didn't explain that.
No, because the brother went off to work at the diner.
Right.
So, and he was only 15, so he would have still been in school. So it wasn't like an issue of I had to pull the kids out.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that she might have actually been there by her own volition. Like, she wanted to, you know, like, because I like how she put it. She goes, it was like, the mom was like, but you like school? No, I like learning. Well, it was either this or I homeschool you upstairs. And she's like, public schools. But man, Paul Rudd. Anybody who knows us, knows me, knows my affinity for Paul Rudd. You know who Paul Rudd was in this movie? He was all of us. Paul Rudd was every Ghostbusters fan ever.
Because he knew them and everyone
of
them.
Yeah.
Because he's younger, you know, so he saw their antics on TV and stuff.
Because figure even in real time, I was old enough to have seen Ghostbusters in the theater, so technically I would have been old enough to experience the events that were going on in the movie. And Paul Rudd is only about 300 or 400 years older than I am. He just doesn't age a day. But you know what I mean?
How old is he? He's younger than me.
I think he's in his 50s.
I thought he was younger than that.
Well, in this lifetime, he's like that. But we all know the man doesn't age. He could possibly be 400 years old. You know, him and Keanu Reeves of the Illuminati. You know, but you see what I mean, though. Yeah. He would have been.
Yeah, because I was in college when that was going on.
Yeah, his character would have been of the age to have experienced it.
Yeah,
you know,
because it was the summer I went to college for the first time. Because I saw the first Ghostbusters over in Muncie because I was at Ball State University at that time.
Man!
And we walked from Ball State down to a strip mall, which had a theater. It was sort of like the American Mall that we had. That's what it reminded me of.
Okay. speaking of seeing it at the theater, this is why anybody who knows me knows that I have always had a huge spot in my heart for Ghostbusters. And when you mentioned the theater, this is a perfect example. There's been years where Facebook has had to remind me of my birthday. I don't have the greatest memory in the entire world. I'm like Sam Beckett from Quantum Leap. I have Swiss cheese memory. The things that are strong, but there's a lot of holes up there. I can tell you every damn detail. My father took me to see it at Cinema 123, which doesn't even exist anymore, in the Lima Mall Plaza. When you walk to the theater, it was all the way to the right. It was a theater all the way to the right. We walked in. My dad sat us midway down the aisleway. I had to sit on the end of the aisle because I was little and I probably would have had to pee. But I remember every minute detail. I remember coming home from watching that movie being super proud because I wasn't scared. I was like, hey, I didn't know what Ghostbusters was.
You thought Ghost.
I thought Ghost. It's at the time, I knew who Bill Murray, because my dad was a huge Saturday Night Live fan, so that was what I grew up with. But I just thought Ghostbusters. I was like, oh, this is going to be a scary movie. I wasn't scared. I remember grabbing a flashlight. I remember grabbing that shoebox and taping it to my back. I remember those moments. And I think one of the things that really excites me about this movie is knowing that younger generations still have an affinity for this movie. My nephews, my great-nephews, still love this movie. But now they have their Ghostbusters.
Yeah, because the youngest, they were 12 in the movie.
Yeah.
So they can go on with the franchise for several more years.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the actress is 12. I think she's a little bit older, but
the character was 12.
The character was 12. Yeah, her podcast.
Yeah, and the brother was only 15. Remember we found that out? I was like, "What do you mean 15? You said 17." Well, I'll be 16 and
next February.
Next February. It's January. God, the cast was. I think that's what was one of the things that really brought this movie together was. One of the things that brought the first movie together was the cast.
Right.
The chemistry that they had, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, all of them. Even when Ernie came, into the movie, they had such great chemistry.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that made that movie so iconic. And I think these kids had that same kind of chemistry, too.
Yeah, because it has sort of that Stranger Things feel.
Yeah.
How they were like together, so
yeah.
It should work if they could keep it going,
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it does good in the box office, makes however many millions, worldwide.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, toward the end, it definitely became a straight out homage to the first movie. Even some of the scenes, where they. One thing I would have liked if they would have switched the character type a little bit, where the mom was the gatekeeper and she was like sexy Dana, it was like,
oh yeah,
and then Paul Rudd was the keymaster and he was nerdy, if they would have switched that dynamic, if they would have made the woman the nerdy, and like Paul Rudd, who it would have worked. He is the sexiest man alive right now, but that worked so good and. When they were explaining, it was like, yeah, the gatekeeper and the keymaster have to come together intimately. I was like, well, what kind of details are we talking about? Podcast is like at least third base. I was like, God. That wasn't the other thing that made that movie so good was the humor behind it.
Yeah.
The jokes were solid, but not like in your face. It was just well written.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, it was fun watch. So.
Yeah, and I can honestly say, as of shooting this right here, we are less than about an hour or so away from having just left the theater.
Yeah, we had to stop and get something. So.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Let me just bring that in for the camera right there, and yeah, I bought 2 bags. One will be, up here, and I'm going to destroy this bag. I found some of the mini marshmallows not too long ago, and I was going to try to be a good nerd, and I'm just going to let them sit. But the munchies happened, and I don't mean munchies. But I'm like, I got to try. I tore that bag open, and man, I was just like, nom, 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 nom. No, for anybody wondering these aren't just good marshmallows in name alone. These are some really... Look, we're not getting paid for this. They don't even know we exist. I'm advertising. These are some damn fine marshmallows. But yeah, we had to stop by a certain mart by the wall that also happens to make a cameo. And another thing that I thought was really good writing, and I was glad they kept it in the movie, was a nice little... They had to have done it on purpose, but when Paul Rudd goes to get ice cream, he specifically picks Baskin-Robbins. Why? Because Baskin-Robbins always finds out. You can't tell me they didn't do that on purpose.
I want to see it one more time just to see what comic book he was reading.
Ooh!
Because I missed it. Because I didn't realize so fast, and I think it was Ant-Man.
You're absolutely right.
Because he laid it down so quick, I didn't even catch it.
Yeah.
Because I just realized, oh wait, he's reading and he had it down.
Mm-hmm.
That was that fast. So I will at least see it one more time, maybe in the theater before streaming.
I'm going to. I have no ands, ifs, or buts about it. The next available moment that I have to go see that movie at the theater, I'm going to go see it.
Because I looked at Mike and goes, was that Ant-Man he was reading? And then he just thought about it too.
Yeah. The big thing we got to talk about, the cameos at the end. I like the way that the commercials handled it, where we saw her call Ray,
right?
But in the commercials, we just hear his voice,
right? When we didn't know what was really going on.
Yeah. I liked his trepidation at first. Like, I'm hanging up. And she's like, no, I get one phone call, I'm in jail. Oh, I've been there too. It had nothing to do with being a Ghostbusters. Like, man, I've been there too. I'm not a lawyer, but tell me what's going on. And just telling her the backstory of... It was really good storytelling because it laid the groundwork of... he can burn in hell for all I care because he did that. He stole all of our stuff, and you're thinking, man...
Why would he do that?
Why would he do that? Was he going, the crazy farmer guy? But all that did was really set it up for the end where you're like, oh no, he knew what was going on.
Yeah, and then we got there, and then they wouldn't... Because he actually supposedly called them, and they didn't come out to investigate because they were all mad at him.
Yeah, because it was Winston.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm sorry, I didn't... Spoiler, not only do Ray, Winston, and Peter show up, I was honestly kind of surprised that they actually went for it. But we got to see Egon Spengler in spectral form.
Yeah.
And I'm not even gonna lie to you. Egon, man. First of all, from a technical point of view, they did such a good job of it.
Yeah.
They did such a good job of it because not only did it look like Egon Spengler, I'm not even saying Harold Ramis, not only did it look like Egon Spengler, it was an older Egon Spengler. It wasn't what you made the analogy,
Yeah, I was joking. At least it wasn't Anakin from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because how they had to replace the old guy with the younger version.
Yeah, they didn't just use... It wasn't like they just used, like... clips of, I've seen the way they did that. Sky Captain in the World Tomorrow did that with, what was it, Orson Welles or whatever, where they used archival footage and, used a computer to shape. No. This was 100% pure CG.
We're at the point where, with deepfake software now, almost anything can be created.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point now where I believe anything can be created,
Oh, yeah.
A coworker had a video of his great-grandfather that his brother had made, I think, the way I was saying, and it moved. It took an old photo, and it moves. It was weird. I mean, not weird, just... Yeah. And the technology I know is there, because some of the stuff that with the newest Adobe stuff, I can actually create a cartoon character, put just a desk cam up, and it sees my face, and my expressions are on that figure. Yep. And it's like, you can do almost anything now.
We've come a long, long way since Tron Legacy. Looking at you, Tron Legacy, with your fake, creepy-looking Jeff Bridges. But, no, they paid him tribute. That's the best way. It was a tribute. It didn't even, to me, and you might disagree, it didn't even feel like capitalizing on a moment. Like, oh, we're going to show. No. To me, it really did feel like a tribute.
Yeah, it was part of the story. I mean,
Yeah.
it was key to the whole story. I mean, if it wasn't for him, the story wouldn't happen.
Right.
That character is what they based this whole movie around.
Yep. I will say I was really happy that they didn't have him speak.
Yeah.
I thought it was more emotionally vested in him not being able to.
Well, he was a ghost, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know that some of them.
they can make noises.
Library ghost.
Oh, that's right.
Where are you from? Or we've seen that they can speak, but I'm glad that they didn't. It was more emotionally heavy to just have him be silent, and the CGI was so good. It was like you could feel, like, especially when he was talking to the daughter, or not talking, but confronted the daughter.
Oh yeah.
He wanted to. You could see.
And they could hug. That was weird.
Yeah. You could see he wanted to.
Yeah.
Well, he was still able to manipulate.
That's true. Yeah, it was that.
Because think about it, Slimer picked up bottles.
That's
How they have to be able to interact with solid material, or
Yeah.
Slimer would never have eaten.
Yeah, there's. I know this is not talk. Slimer wasn't in the movie.
Nope.
That was weird because everybody thought that one ghost was Slimer in the commercial.
No,
you
it was-
didn't really see.
Yeah.
No, that was what they call
Muncher.
Muncher. Yeah.
Yeah. Which again makes you wonder what ties to the second movie this movie has, because in the second movie Slimer was chilling at the firehouse.
Right.
So I'm sure one of them would have been babies. I can't not see Ray.
Yeah.
Adopting Slimer.
Yeah. That's. I don't know. It's just.
Well, no, think about it. Even let's say for shits and giggles that Ray did adopt Slimer. That had nothing to do with Egon.
That's true.
He's out in Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, you keep.
He's still back at the shop.
Yeah.
That's
But,
why no one goes to the shop.
That's why no one goes to the show. Except for Peter to pick up his copy of Magical Past to Fortune and Glory. That's right, look it up. I said it word for word. Because I know that stuff. But that was such an emotional moment when he... And it wasn't just that he appeared. It was the way he appeared to help Phoebe.
Yeah.
Oh... Then to see him in the lineup with Ray, Peter, and Winston, and they all were just like... It was so cathartic for all of them. It almost felt like the actors were talking to the character. That it was Dan Aykroyd, saying his goodbye, and when Winston, was like, "Hey, I'm sorry I didn't return your phone calls." When they realized that everything was going on.
I wonder if they had a stand-in for him, on the set, so they could interact better.
I would bet, because even as far as technology goes, there's always a stand. There's always
so they had
at least like the stick with the pole or stuff.
They had the spacings, like the little dots and stuff.
Yeah,
but maybe it was Jason himself.
Oh, I could see them doing that.
Yeah, maybe we'll get that on some making of special down the line. Sony somewhere is going to have to release that. It'll probably be on Amazon.
Yeah. But it was very touching, that moment, and with Phoebe and Finn and the daughter. It wasn't I don't want to say cliche. Like I said, it wasn't just like, oh, we're going to do this to make people go, oh, no.
Yeah.
It was very organic the way everything happened.
And the one ghost at the diner that was in the first movie, he was back for that brief second, and it looked like they did it the way they did it in the first movie. So it must have been actually the
cab driver.
Yeah, it must have been the set that they, or whatever you want to call it, the puppet.
Right,
It must have had to be the puppet from the original movie used again, because it looked really darn close.
Yeah. But yeah, that is our review of Ghostbusters Afterlife. Again, I really did. I almost feel like I need to say thank you to Jason Reitman. Thank you for giving me the sequel to the first movie that I have been waiting 30 years for. Thank you for not only paying tribute to the characters, but even as an old timer who's, we have to do the kid. No. I am so happy to see the Ghostbusters franchise being handed off to the younger generation.
Yeah.
Especially these kids. Phoebe, the brother, I hope that credit scene, you know, we saw.
Oh, when he bought the firehouse, it does happen.
That tickled me so much. I really did. That's my final take on it. Is I absolutely loved this movie. Rich, your takeaway?
I enjoyed it for what it was. You know, I still have a little problem. I think they went a little too heavy from the original movie, but
I will agree. There were certain scenes, you know, like at the temple where they changed into the dogs.
I mean, it was shot for shot.
Damn near
not
shot.
Quite, not quite, but close. You know, I mean, yeah, hommies, whatever. But I enjoyed it. It's fun to watch. If you was one of the originals, go watch it.
The other thing, we have yet to look this up yet. We talked about this. We'll find out. We'll talk to you guys later. Ivo Shandor. I'm telling you, I'm almost certain that was J. Jonah Jameson. I'm telling you, I'm almost certain that was. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like pretty much, because think about it. He had facial hair and he got to screw with kids. That is that actor's motif, man. J. Jonah, Invincible, Drumline. That is like his staple. I get to wear some facial hair and just be a dick to some kids. 5 minutes, don't care. Screen, I don't care. So, we would very much like to know what you thought of the movie. So if you would, please kindly drop us a comment, drop us an email or a message or anything. Let us know what you thought. Richard, please tell them where they can do that at.
The best place to start is undergroundvideonetwork.com. That's our main website and our video archive of the last 18 going on 19 years of videos. So, and then all our social links are there. So follow us, you know, your Facebook, YouTube, wherever. So. And Twitter.
Yep. On behalf of Richard Catterjohn and myself, we hope everybody's staying safe, healthy. Hope to see you at a con, a comic book store, or a movie theater real soon. And thank you for watching.